All right, welcome back to the Kaiba Show this week, people. That's right, your boy Marlon Wayans has done another collaboration with Netflix and has dropped his brand new movie called Sextuplets. So let's get it.
Welcome to the Kaiba Show.
All right, people. So Sextuplets is starring Marlon Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Marlon Wayans, and Marlon Wayans, and it's also starring Bracia Webb, and is directed by Michael Tyson. Basically, the premise of this movie is Marlon playing the main character, Alan, finds out that he has five other siblings that he doesn't know about because his mom gave up him and the vast majority of his siblings up for adoption when she was a very young age. And that's all I'm going to say about the movie, so I don't ruin it for you guys. So I want you guys to go check it out. So let's get right into it. So let me start off by saying this. Yo, this movie was actually entertaining, yo. Marlon Wayans did a good job with this one because let's be honest, people, his last couple of movies, they've been kind of more misses than hits, A Haunted House 1 and 2, they were okay. Wasn't up, on the level of scary movies 1 and 2. And I'm not going to even talk about the other scary movies because we already know the Wayans had nothing to do with it. And if I'm not mistaken, I feel like Marlon's last projects have been solely him. I don't think he really had his brothers, Sean or Keenan, help him write any of the material, and that could be why some of his late movies have been more of misses instead of hits. Because even his last Netflix collaboration, I think it was called Naked. That movie was okay. It wasn't bad, but it's not on the level, like I said before, it's not on the level of the scary movies 1 and 2 that him and his brothers did, Sean and Keenan. And it's not on the level of like White Chicks and Little Man. So Marlon, he's kind of been dropping the ball lately, but with this movie, it was actually entertaining. So let's talk about what worked for it. The storyline was decent. Not the best storyline, but it's a comedy movie, so you gotta go in there with a little open mind. So for a comedy movie, the storyline was decent. There was actually some laughs in there. I want to say my favorite characters that he played was probably Dawn. I like the sibling that was the pimp and the fat brother Russell. This movie kind of reminded me of the Clumps. Like I felt like Marlon dug into his inner Eddie Murphy because we already know Eddie's probably the best person for being able to imitate people and even create his own characters. Like Martin does it too, but I think Eddie is like the best one. Like Eddie could change his voice and turn himself into so many different characters. And I felt like Marlon studied that for this movie, and he actually did a good job playing all these different characters. Like every character, I felt like was its own person in a unique way, and I felt like Marlon crushed it, yo. He did a really good job. Now, was the jokes all the way funny? No, some of them didn't land for me, but for the most part, I did laugh at quite a few. And even though the movie for me wasn't like crazy, crazy funny, it was very entertaining. This is probably one of Marlon's better performances in a long time since White Chicks and even G.I. Joe. I liked what he did with the character Ripcord in G.I. Joe, Little Man and stuff like that. Because like I said, like 50 Shades of Black and some of those other movies he did, it wasn't his best job, his best performance. But in this one, I was digging it. He had a lot on his plate and he delivered it. And people like Eddie Murphy and Martin, I felt like they were probably inspirations for Marlon in this movie, and that's why he did it. And he delivered. What didn't work? I mean, it's a comedy movie. You got to have a sense of humor, and not everybody's humor is the same. So for some people, some of the jokes probably won't land. They probably think some of his characters are outlandish. But for the most part, I felt like the movie was a solid movie, especially for Marlon, especially for a Netflix. Because I think this is a step up from Naked. I actually like this movie better than Naked. And I think people are going to be very entertained. Now, if it came out in the theaters, it'd probably be a different story. But I feel like for Netflix, this is a solid movie. So on the Kaiba scale, 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this movie a 7.5. Like I can see myself watching this movie again. Like his other ones, if I never see them again, Haunted House 2, 50 Shades of Black, those type of movies, it doesn't bother me if I never see them again. But this movie, I can actually see myself sitting down and watching again because it was entertaining. It was an entertaining comedy movie at the end of the day, and I was kind of digging, the storyline and plot. So unfortunately, since this movie did not come out in the theaters, I cannot recommend to go see it, matinee or general admission. But for the price that we pay for Netflix, depending on, if you're streaming it in 4K or 1080p or regular, I definitely suggest checking this movie out. It probably will come out on Blu-ray in the future. Yeah, and it's probably worth buying on Blu-ray if it comes out on Blu-ray. So with that being said, if you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell button so you get notified every time I upload a video. And leave a comment and hit the like button at the bottom.